Hi, this is Lisa, truth teller and modern day minstrel, here to remind you that there is no truth outside of love. If it ain't loving, it ain't true. Welcome to the Truth Teller vlog. So I was thinking today, I've got a recording session this Sunday. We're going to record a tune that I just wrote about a week ago. It's called When Your Heart Comes Out. And for this tune, for the first time in a very long time, I wanted to do a recording with not just an acoustic and me. I wanted to record drums, bass, and guitar. So Toby, who plays guitar for me, Toby and I have been learning the song, and yesterday we got together to record a little demo so that the drummer and the bassist could hear it before we go into the studio. And it was fine. Like, we just really rough recording, different. It was really noisy, like alarms were going off while we were recording it. But when I listened back to it, I was like, yeah, you can hear the vocal, you can hear the guitar, you can hear the structure of the song, you can hear what the song's like. They'll get a pretty good idea from it. But one thing that really struck me just listening back to the demo is how bad it sounds. Like the tune, especially the singing, the song, it just does not, it's not pleasant to listen to for most people, I would imagine. Well, especially myself, possibly, because I want my things to be a certain standard. I think a lot of people find their own video or audio a lot more difficult to listen to. People are generally a lot more judgmental of their own work than they are of other people's. And so it was funny, like, listened back to my vocal and the guitar on the demo, and I noticed that the vocals were really just over-delivered, oversung, just not a nice sort of delivery. And and the funny thing is, I didn't have a problem with that. Listening to that, I just thought, yeah, I can tell listening to that where my ear is. And that's the funny thing. When you hear somebody singing, you don't just hear what they're delivering. What you actually hear is what their ear is on, what they're listening to. And you can hear when people are singing and they can't hear themselves. It's a crazy thing. Like, it sometimes happens when people are performing in a big stadium or in some other setup where they're not hearing the sound back, but sound is going out, and so they're trying to sing, but if you can't hear what you're doing, it's really hard to tune, it's really hard to sing. You can't moderate. Have you ever tried, I don't know, in the Science Museum in Ontario, there used to be this thing that you could put on, like headphones, that would give you back what you were saying, but a second later with a delay, and it was really hard. Like, all the kids would try it, and it was really hard to say something because your ear would jump to what you were monitoring back. That sort of instant process of monitoring yourself, which helps you to regulate constantly what you're actually delivering, it is so essential. And so when I heard back the demo from yesterday, I could tell that my ear was not on my vocal, that I couldn't hear myself singing. I didn't know it when I was actually singing. I just thought I was singing, but the demo makes it apparent that my ear is actually on the guitar. It's on lots of other things, but not really in a space where I can deliver freely and hear myself, sort of like hearing yourself think. And it also made me think, and so sometimes I do a vocal on something and I actually think, because I'm not like a super modest sort of person. I love my work and I love what I deliver when I do a recording. So I listen back to stuff I've recorded, and if I've delivered it the way that I want, then when I listen back to it, I really enjoy it, and I can listen to it over and over and over and really enjoy it and just think, damn, that the way I deliver that little phrase there, or the overall thing, it's just gorgeous. Like, I really think that about my own vocal. But similarly, I can listen back to something like the demo from yesterday, or even like a take in the studio. I'll sing something, I'll be like, damn, I'm killing it. And then I'll go into the control room, listen back, and I'll think, wow, that is actually awful. Like, it's not even just like a mediocre take or not the best that I can do. It's actually tragically awful. But it doesn't bother me when it's really awful, because I don't go, I guess it's the conclusions I draw from a judgment like that. When I think, oh, that take was awful, I don't think, oh, I can't sing, I'm a terrible singer. I don't think, I don't think these sorts of really condemning negative things. When I hear that I did a take and it really sounds awful, I think, oh, what was it in this situation there that I need to change in order to get a different take? And I actually kind of find it funny sometimes. But yeah, it just made me think, while I was thinking about this walking home today after dropping off my little boy at school, just made me think, isn't it funny? Like, I'm the same person, and yet, like, in the space of 2 takes back to back, I can sing the exact same tune tragically, terribly, so terribly that it is funny, and I can also sing it gorgeously, absolutely gorgeously. What is it? It's yeah, it's kind of a funny thing, and all it is where my ear will be, or where my head will be during that recording. It's not that, I've had 8 hours sleep more before one take. It's not that I'll have eaten something differently. It's simply a matter of where my ear is. These tiny little shifts can make these instant, massive differences. I don't know. But anyway, that's the thought for the day. One tiny little internal shift can make a world of a difference in the outcome. Do with that as you will. Bless you.